History and life of the founder of Dunamis in Nigeria, Dr. Paul Enenche. Greeting and introduction. Hello everyone, and welcome to Christian's Faith Origins and Stories channel. Today, we bring you a fascinating story, the history and life of Dr. Paul Enenche, the founder of Dunamis International Gospel Centre, Nigeria. This story is more than the biography of a man. It is the journey of a medical doctor who walked away from a promising career to answer a divine call. It is the account of a ministry that started small but has now become a global spiritual powerhouse. From his childhood days in the quiet communities of Benue State to the building of the world-famous Glory Dome, Dr. Enenche's story is a testimony of faith, discipline, and vision. Stay tuned as we unfold this inspiring journey in 12 powerful chapters. Chapter 1. Early Life and Family Background. Dr. Paul Enenche was born on June 12, 1968, in the rustic village of Orokam, Benue State, Nigeria. He comes from the Idoma ethnic group, a people known for resilience, rich cultural traditions, and a strong communal life. Growing up in a Christian family, young Paul's foundation was laid on the principles of prayer, morality, and hard work. His parents, though not wealthy, prioritized godly living over material possessions. His mother, in particular, was remembered as a prayerful woman who spent long hours interceding for her children. Neighbors described Paul as a quiet, thoughtful boy with a strong sense of responsibility. Unlike other children who played endlessly, Paul spent much of his time reading, reflecting, and following his mother to church services. These early exposures planted seeds of faith that would later bloom into a mighty global ministry. Chapter 2. Education and Medical Training. Paul's intelligence was evident from his early years in school. He was diligent and always excelled in his studies. His passion for learning eventually led him to the University of Jos, Unijos, in Plateau State, where he pursued a career in medicine. Studying medicine in Nigeria in the 1980s was not easy. Lecture halls were overcrowded, resources were limited, and strikes often disrupted education. Yet, Paul distinguished himself as a hardworking student. Friends recall that he wasn't just concerned about medicine but often gathered students for prayer meetings in hostels and lecture halls. After graduation, he worked as a medical doctor, serving patients with compassion. But even in the hospital, his approach was unusual. He prayed for patients alongside prescribing medication. Many testified of remarkable recoveries that went beyond science. This blend of medicine and faith hinted at the divine path his life was destined to follow. Chapter 3. The Call to Ministry. In the early 1990s, Paul faced a turning point. Though successful as a doctor, he felt restless. Inside him was a constant pull towards something greater, a call to serve God fully. He recounted moments when, after treating patients, he would hear a voice in his spirit. "You have healed the body, but what about the soul?" One night, after hours of prayer and fasting, he had a clear divine encounter. God's voice was unmistakable. "Leave medicine and follow me. I have called you to heal nations with my power." This was not an easy decision. In Nigeria, becoming a doctor was a dream career, a symbol of prestige and financial stability. Walking away from it seemed foolish to many. Yet, Paul chose obedience over comfort. He resigned from medical practice and stepped into full-time ministry. Chapter 4. Marriage to Dr. Becky Enenche. In 1994, Paul married Dr. Becky Inyangbe Paul Enenche, also a medical doctor from Kogi State. Their union was not just a marriage but a divine partnership. Like Paul, Becky carried a strong Christian foundation, passion for prayer, and love for people. Together, they envisioned a ministry that would touch both the spirit and the body, combining medical knowledge with the healing power of God. Dr. Becky became a vital part of Dunamis, preaching, counseling women, mentoring youths, and co-leading with her husband. Their marriage, marked by mutual respect and shared purpose, became a model for Christian families across Nigeria. Chapter 5. Founding of Dunamis International Gospel Centre. On November 10, 1996, in Abuja, Nigeria, the vision became reality. Dunamis International Gospel Centre held its first Sunday service at the Abuja Center for Arts and Culture. The word Dunamis comes from Greek, meaning miraculous power or explosive strength. This name symbolized the mandate of the church to demonstrate God's power to the nations. The first service was modest, just a small group of people gathered in faith. But from the beginning, the atmosphere was charged with prayer, worship, and miracles. Paul preached passionately, and testimonies began to pour in. What started as a mustard seed soon grew into a giant tree. Chapter 6: Ministry Growth and Expansion. The years that followed saw rapid growth. Dunamis began to hold weekly services filled with fiery preaching, intense worship, and healing miracles. Word spread quickly, and attendance multiplied. Soon, new branches were planted across Nigeria, in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Jos, and beyond. International branches followed, reaching Africa, Europe, and the United States. Dunamis also became known for its healing and deliverance services, which drew crowds of tens of thousands. People testified of miraculous healings, the blind seeing, the lame walking, and the oppressed finding freedom. Chapter 7: The Glory Dome, a Monument of Faith. The vision grew bigger. In the mid-2000s, Dr. Paul received a divine instruction to build a sanctuary that would reflect God's glory. The result was the Glory Dome, the Dunamis headquarters in Abuja. Dedicated on November 24, 2018, the Glory Dome seats 100,000 people, making it one of the largest church auditoriums in the world. Remarkably, it was built debt-free, funded entirely by the faith and contributions of members. The structure became not just a church but a global landmark. During dedication, world leaders, pastors, and dignitaries attended, marveling at the scale of faith behind the project. Chapter 8: Humanitarian and Social Impact. Dunamis is not just about preaching, it is about transformation. Under Dr. Paul and Dr. Becky, the church runs massive humanitarian programs. Medical outreaches providing free healthcare and surgeries. Educational scholarships for underprivileged children. Food distribution to widows, orphans, and struggling families. Skill empowerment programs helping youths become financially independent. This humanitarian angle reflects their belief that the gospel must be practical, feeding the hungry, healing the sick, and uplifting the poor. Chapter 9: Music and Worship Ministry. Dr. Paul is also a worshipper at heart. He writes songs that carry deep spiritual weight, blending simple lyrics with divine inspiration. Some of his powerful songs include Noro Ekele, Owner of My Life, Keep Holding On, You Are Always There to Help. These songs are sung not only in Nigeria but across Africa, touching millions in worship gatherings. His music emphasizes intimacy with God, healing, and thanksgiving. Chapter 10: Influence on Nigerian Christianity. Nigeria is home to some of the world's largest churches, and Dunamis has secured its place among them. Dr. Paul is highly respected for his bold preaching against corruption, immorality, and compromise. He is often called to lead national prayer sessions and appears at interdenominational gatherings. His influence extends beyond the pulpit, shaping conversations on holiness, national revival, and integrity in leadership. In a country plagued by political instability, his voice is often seen as a beacon of hope. Chapter 11: Personal Life, Values, and Character. Behind the fiery preacher is a man of humility. Dr. Paul lives a disciplined life centered on prayer, study, and family. Those close to him say he spends long hours in personal devotion, interceding for his church and nation. He avoids unnecessary controversies, focusing instead on spreading the gospel. His values of holiness, integrity, and compassion have earned him respect across denominational divides. At home, he is a loving father to his 4 children and a supportive husband to Becky. The balance of ministry and family life reflects his belief that one's first ministry begins at home. Chapter 12: Legacy and the Future of Dunamis. As Dunamis expands across the globe, the legacy of Dr. Paul Enenche continues to grow. His story, from a village boy in Benue to the founder of a global ministry, is proof that faith and obedience can change destinies. Today, Dunamis is not just a church, it is a movement of revival, healing, and hope. With younger generations being raised under his mentorship, the ministry is poised to influence the world for decades to come. The legacy of Dr. Paul is not only in the Glory Dome or the songs he sings, but in the millions of lives transformed by his obedience to God's call. Conclusion: And that brings us to the end of this journey through the life and ministry of Dr. Paul Enenche, founder of Dunamis International Gospel Centre. His story reminds us that when you surrender your life to God, no dream is too big and no vision is impossible. Thank you for watching Christians' Faith Origins and Stories and for being part of this incredible history, life and story of Dunamis. What do you think about his incredible journey? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of faith, history, and transformation.